Coldharbour's favorite. Does this armor set suck? We're back for the second episode of this video series where I take an item set through rigorous testing, where I just test it to its limit by going through that dungeon, and that's it. But the very first video in this series got over 700 likes, so thank you so much for that. If you do like this series, make sure to leave a like. Let's see if we can hit 500 in this one. This series, again, is designed to be funny, you guys. It's supposed to be funny, satirical. It does have some education involved, but I just want you all to know that, because I got some pretty crazy comments down below about that, and I just want you guys to understand that I'm trying to be funny with this. I'm trying to make people laugh. But just like the last series, what we're gonna do is I'm going to highlight Coldharbour's favorite. I'm going to try to build around it, and I'm going to try to use it extensively to see how good it really is and to see if it really sucks. But like I said in the last video, make sure to leave a comment below letting me know which set you want me to cover next. And I'm trying to get these out quicker now, but I just had a lot of content that I had to go into. Again, thank you to my patrons and YouTube members. We'll have more on that at the end of the video, but let's go ahead and jump into, does Coldharbour's favorite suck? So like always, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about where you can get it, what the set does. We're going to go into like what the set works with and maybe some pros and cons of using it. And then we're going to go and jump into the veteran dungeon. So Coldharbour's favorite is a craftable item set, again, that you can actually get or make in the northern elsewhere zone. So if you go to northern elsewhere, it is down here on this crafting table near this wayshrine. I'm not going to go there right now because I'm on an alternate character, but we also have it here in our guild hall. What the item set actually does is it is an 8 trait craftable set. So again, takes a lot to craft it, which is kind of hilarious to me. So what this set actually does is it adds the 2 pieces 10,058 max magic, the 3 piece adds 10,058 max stamina, 4 piece adds 124 weapon and spell damage, the 5 piece is where it gets really interesting. So healing yourself or a group member summons Honor, who after 2 seconds begins healing you and your group members near him for 13,776 health over 6 seconds based on the higher of your max stamina or magicka. The other version of it is dealing damage summons Honor, who after 2 seconds explodes, damaging enemies near him for 10,423 magic damage over 6 seconds based on the higher of your weapon or spell damage. Okay, and so Honor can only be summoned once every 10 seconds. So what this means is you don't get both of those. You get a random one based off of if you heal or do damage. But the thing is in ESO, there are classes and abilities that can sometimes proc healing and damage, which makes this set hilarious and really fun to use, but it's hard to kind of gauge, like, is this set actually good or not? We're actually going to be trying to proc the damage one, and I'll get into that here in a second. Now, what I want you to understand is it talks about it does magic damage over 6 seconds, right? And this is being buffed right now by one of our item sets. And I'm going to get into the item set in a second, but the class that we're going to use for this is, since it's magic damage, I'm actually using a warden. The reason I'm using a warden is because the warden gets increased magic damage and frost damage. If you see here, piercing cold, increase your magic and frost damage by 5%. This actually will go up to 10% if I had the other passive in here, but that is something that I don't have currently on this warden character because I'm on the live server. But this is a nice little passive for the warden that I really like. So coupled with that though is, and this is what makes it risky, is that in the animal companion line here, because a lot of our abilities for warden are magic damage. You see here, this screaming cliff racer does magic damage, fissure does magic damage, fetcher infection does tons of magic damage, right? And we're using all those abilities here. But the thing here that you want to see is bond with nature, not James Bond, but bond with nature. Anytime one of your animal companion skills ends, you are healed for 1,285 health. So we are going to really pray that this does not proc and do the healing one. So it's going to be really interesting. So we're using the warden, like I said, and the abilities that we're using unstable wall of frost, we're using blue Betty, we're using fetcher infection, winter's revenge, bird of prey, we're using the wild guardian ultimate, using screaming cliff racer, deep fissure, and we're using force pulse because it's going to do a ton of magic damage to other enemies, and then we're using bird of prey as well to increase our damage. But the other item sets that we are using to help augment this is we're using War Maiden. What War Maiden does is it adds 634 critical chance, it adds 10,058 max magicka, it adds 124 weapon and spell damage, and it adds 579 weapon and spell damage to your magic damage abilities. So that increases Coldharbour's favorite by, I believe it's around almost like 3 to 4k damage over time, which is ridiculous, which is awesome. So this augments this. We're using Ice Heart because I just like Ice Heart as a monster set. And on the back bar, we're using Maelstrom Ice Staff because that's part of my other build here. For the champion points, what I was going to do, I couldn't really find much to use like with this that would really like super augment this. The only thing really that we could do is do increased damage with damage over time effects with Thaumaturge because it is a damage over time effect with Coldharbour's favorite. And then with the Warden, we're doing a lot of direct damage and we're doing a lot of single target attacks. So we slotted into that and we slotted into crit damage here. But for the other stars, there really wasn't anything that I felt was like necessary or needed. But I'm excited because this set is going to be hilarious. I think it's going to be a set that surprises people. I don't know how effective it actually will be, but we're gonna go ahead and jump into a vet dungeon now and let's see what we can do with this and we'll assess our combat logs afterwards. Look how cute this thing is. Look how cute this thing is. It's that little thing, it was like a little chicken. It's so cute. It was literally so cute. I love it. The interesting part about Coldharbour's favorite is like you could build this for a healer because I actually built this as a hybrid build for my Templar actually. I don't know, it's very interesting. Like if you built straight into healer, you could use the heal and the heal is nice, but we're trying to use it for DPS because it's more fun. It is kind of hard to tell when it's proccing because it's so small. It's just like a tiny little chicken. There it is right there. I see it. I'm just using my normal rotation. I'm just using my normal rotation. Wait, someone has like a little, it looks like someone's pet. That's someone's pet? Dude, okay, how hilarious is that? I literally have someone in this group that's using a pet that looks so similar to the actual freaking honor. That is gonna be so confusing. They knew I was gonna be doing this. What the frick? There's the, see, I'm getting confused. That's the dude's pet. I really can't tell if my chicken's spawning. I'm doing 57% of the group's DPS, so I guess that's good. I see the chicken, there he is. He just did a bunch of damage. Whoa, that was nice, okay. Let's do Force Pulse, let's see if it spawns. Okay, I died. You know, first impressions is that like this set is so random that if it makes it fun, but it feels like it's just gonna be a better healer set more consistently. Revenge, shocks, this. My freaking, there's honor right there. Is he gonna explode? He exploded, okay, good. This dungeon is extremely annoying. Obviously other skills will, see it proc that time damage, okay. Of course I gotta do inventory management, man. I freaking suck at inventory management. Let's just go and sell. Hey, there's the honor right there. Boom, explosion. Ooh, Betty. What's that song? It's like that Betty song. I can't remember what that Betty song is called. It's like a rock song. Oh, Black Betty, bam, lamb. FBI, open up! Gosh, their DPS is about to get shreked, dude. I'm glad that someone knows where to go in this because seriously, I never know where to go in this dungeon. I've played this game for like 6+ years. It's so bad. I mean, maybe I'm just an idiot. All right, so I think what you have to do, I think the key with this set, if you're gonna use something like this, is you need to look for that visible blue explosion. Like, see, there was honor right there and it just exploded. I honestly haven't seen the healing honor spawn. So I don't know, maybe it's not as easy as like to spawn it, you know what I mean? Choose honor, there's honor right there. It's gonna explode, it's gonna do magic damage over time. I don't see honor, I don't know where he's at. Is that him right there? I can't tell because that dude literally has a chicken pet. What are the odds of us doing a dungeon, me doing an item set sucking video, and then the guy having literally the pet that looks exactly like honor? Oh, that's gonna be a big explosion, nice. That was like the quickest run of Volenfell I think I've ever done. I'm gonna use the scroll. Deploying flashbang. Although a nice little honor proc here for healing is nice, but I feel like I'm just supposed to focus on damage. Okay, so our DPS is dead. Our tank is almost dead. I need to get the DPS up. Okay.
2 very boring minutes later.
It's hard to do DPS on a moving target like this, but I think we're doing a pretty good job. I think I'm the only one really damaging this one. I think the other DPS has been killing the other things. I can't remember though. I can't really tell, I guess. Guy's almost dead. Okay, he's dead. Perfect. Poison guy's dead. Nice. Great job, guys. Honor is proud of us. Honor is proud of us. Okay, so now we're gonna look at the combat logs to see kind of what we're looking at when it comes to this set. Let's go to trimmer scale. I mean, that did 59,817 DPS, or damage, total damage. And so it did around 16, 17 DPS. So it did in the top 4. I mean, my light attacks were doing the most with Screaming Cliff Racer, Winter's Revenge, Scorn, Crushing Swipe. Force Pulse was actually kind of low, which is kind of interesting, but Honor Scorn was actually 7.5% of the DPS for trimmer scale there, which honestly is not bad. That's pretty good in my opinion, like comparatively. Boil Bite. So here again, Screaming Cliff Racer has the most, Winter's Revenge, light attacks, and Honor Scorn is there doing 1814 DPS, about 58,000 total DPS. Not really too bad. Guardian Strength. Again, Honor Scorn is up there, doing 156,707 total damage, and Screaming Cliff Racer was doing 210,000 damage with our light attack. So Honor, honestly, that was pretty awesome. So let's look at healing. Base regeneration, Ice Heart. I don't see any procs from Honor on the healing side. To be honest, is pretty encouraging because that makes me feel like you could actually viably use this more than I think you can as a DPS. So let's go into the final observations. Obviously, again, this is meant to be satirical and funny, but also a little bit educational. We have a scale and we rate it on 3 different topics. We rate it on the fashion of does it suck. We rate it on does it suck flavor-wise, which flavor-wise is just like kind of like the lore and like how it kind of fits in and works. And then does the actual set suck in the game? We have a rating for that. Our scale is from 4 to 10. 4 being thou shalt not be named. 5 is D tier, 6 is C tier, 7 is B tier, 8 is A tier, 9 is S tier, and 10 is God tier. So where do we rate Coldharbour's favorite on the fashion scale? Well, again, all craftable sets get a 6 on the fashion scale as a C tier because you can craft craftable sets at any fashion that you want. So it's really your level of suckiness of fashion. It really comes down to how many motifs you have. So for this person, I think I look pretty cool right now, so I think I would rate this higher, but we're gonna give it a 6 on the fashion scale because again, it is a craftable set. Now, does this item set suck on the flavor scale? I think the flavor on this set is God tier. This is a 10 to me on this because I think this set is supposed to be a callback to maybe Cadwell, but the fact that this set has a random effect on it, like it's essentially a random effect. You can control it in some ways, obviously, but the fact that it can either proc the healer honor or the damage honor is something that I think is hilarious, and I just love how it works. I just think this set is really, really neat flavor-wise. I'm giving it a 10 on the God. I'm giving it a God tier rank 10 for flavor. I love that. Now, does this item set actually suck in the game? So for me, I'm going to rate this as a 7, which is a B tier item set. And the reason that it's no lower is because this set I think is something you can actually use. I actually do think this is a solid set. I think if you were going to use this as a healer set, I actually think this set could be almost an A tier, so an 8 for healers, because that heal right there is based off max magic or stamina. So if you can dump into your max magical pool, you can get that even higher to 13,776 health. I think that's a solid heal, and you can literally proc that probably most of the time off your heals, and it gives a nice bit of base stats. It gives you nice magicka and stamina. It gives you weapon and spell damage, and for me, I'm very surprised it bumped it up from C tier in the damage category because I was very surprised by how many times we actually proc the damage and didn't actually proc the healing honor. So I actually think that that brought it up to B tier for me. And another reason that it's, I think, B tier is the fact that if you have a group of enemies and you proc that damage honor, you're gonna hit a lot of damage over time for that. It's gonna be nice damage over time, especially on a Warden where you have that and you're using like War Maiden and you're getting 10k plus on the magic damage. I mean, I think that's fantastic. So that's really nice. I mean, it's almost A tier for me for damage. Other reason why it's not higher is because it does take 8 traits to craft it yourself, which in my opinion, again, I think is a little high for a crafted set of this magnitude. Like if you said Mother Sorrow or Medusa was a crafted set and it was 8 traits, I think that's worth it. But for this, I don't know if 8 traits is something that is totally worth it. But nevertheless, we add the 10 for the flavor, we add the 6 for the fashion, and the 7 for if it actually sucks in the game, and we get a grand total of, let me do math real quick. We get a total average of 7.66, which could round to an 8. So we'll say it's a B.5 tier set. So in my opinion, this item set does not actually suck. I actually think it is a decent one. Now again, if I get someone in the comment section that's telling me that this set is trash and that like you shouldn't be using this in meta builds, of course you shouldn't be using this in meta builds, okay? But I'm going off of my rating scale for this, and I think it's a very fun scale to go off of. And so let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of this item set and what you think you would have rated it from this assessment, and let me know again or what you want me to cover in the next video. But again, thank you so much to my patrons. Thank you for the support on the YouTube members as well. You can check out all those links, my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/brahwegotthis, Tuesday through Friday. You can check out my Discord and website, brahwegotthis.com, all in the description. But make sure to watch the last episode of this in the cards up here, and then you can watch any other guides in the other card. And I will see you guys on the next video. Remember to have faith, be great. I'll see you on ESO.